Salute and welcome to the Stories and Cocktails podcast, where you'll enjoy an entertaining short story from acclaimed humor columnist Rob Kreider. Storytime is the family portion of the show. Then we move on from the stories to the cocktails. This is where the alcohol and the not safe for work portion of the show takes over, as Rob and his wife /editor /muse Sara Kreider partake in some adult beverages and provide you with a behind the scenes recap of what really inspired the original story. Put your feet up, relax, and enjoy yourself a round of stories and cocktails. Cheers.
This story is called No Boys Allowed by Rob Kreider. Hey, that's me. Some people think that the most powerful force in the world comes from a hurricane. Some would say tsunamis are even more powerful. I disagree. There is nothing more powerful in this world than a woman. I know this because I live with two of them. People survive hurricanes. How long does a hurricane last? 2 days? Somehow, I have barely survived, living directly between the crosshairs of my wife and my daughter for 6 years straight. The other day, my wife was feeling a little under the weather. She was coughing, sneezing. It was basically miserable. I wanted to help her feel better, but then again, I just wanted to get out of the house before I caught what she had. I know misery loves company, but there's no good reason for me to catch a cold. I was trying to quickly sneak off to work when my wife, whom I love, asked me to stay home and take the kids to school. Man, I was so close. I'd almost made it out the front door. While I tried getting the kids ready for school, my wife kept yelling out directions from her sick bed. Don't forget their lunches and don't give them Pepsi again. Don't forget their jackets and don't let them wear shorts again. Don't forget their backpacks. You forgot their homework last time. I realized then my wife must have been ill to the point of complete incapacitation to leave the responsibility of getting 2 kids to school in my completely incapable hands. After I miraculously got the kids off to school, I picked up some medicine for my wife and scored her some chick flicks to watch while we waited for the virus to leave her body. Eventually, it came that time of the day to get the kids. My wife was feeling a little bit better, so she said she would ride with me. She slowly walked to the car in her pajamas and slippers. Her hair looked like she'd been sick all day, lounging around in bed while bossing her husband around. When we arrived at the school, I left my wife in the car and walked on campus to claim my children. As I walked up to the buildings, I realized there was a PTA meeting in progress. The dreaded Parent-Teacher Association. You're either in with them or out with them, and I was out. I had to sneak by the open door of the meeting without being shamed into membership. I peered inside and saw all of the good parents who love their children enough to be a part of the PTA. Now, it isn't that I don't love my kids, it's just I don't have the time to organize next year's cakewalk. Luckily, I snuck by unnoticed. I saw my son. He was patiently waiting for me like a good boy. I asked him where his sister was. He just shrugged. We looked around, and she was nowhere to be found. Her classroom was empty. All the rest of her classmates were gone. I started to get worried. My reputation was on the line here. My wife needed me to do a simple parental task, and the PTA was in full force just a few doors down. I didn't need a scene. We walked around the building again, and then I heard the giggling. It was coming from the girls' bathroom. It was my daughter and one of her friends. They were hanging out, laughing, and having a grand old time in there. Outside the bathroom door, I said as nicely as I could, since the PTA could probably hear me, "Sweetie, it's time to go home." I was met with more giggling. I waited. She didn't come out. I was patient. Maybe she was in the middle of something. I asked nicely a few more times. Then I started pleading. I only received more little girl giggling and laughing in return. What could I do? I certainly couldn't go in to get her. The last thing I needed was to get caught by the PTA inside the girls' bathroom. It was the girls' bathroom, the ultimate in unknown territory for boys. There are men working for NASA who know more about Mars, which is 35 million miles away, than they do about what's inside the woman's bathroom 20 feet from their desks. There was no way I was crossing that line. Finally, I announced to my daughter I was leaving her at school. I heard, "Okay," and more laughing. It was time for reinforcements. My son and I walked to the car and briefed my wife on the situation. "Honey, your little angel has taken herself hostage in the girls' bathroom." She said, "I'm not going to go get her." I said, "What do you mean? She's in the girls' bathroom. I can't get her." My wife said, "You're her father. Make her come out." "I can't. There's a PTA meeting. I can't stand outside the door and threaten my daughter like a maniac." My wife replied, "Look what I'm wearing. I can't walk around in my pajamas, not with the PTA in there." Nobody cares if you're wearing pajamas, but the school and maybe the police will very much care if I go inside the girls' bathroom. My wife asked, "What would you do if I wasn't here?" "But you are here." I was literally stuck between a rock and a hard place. My wife wasn't going to budge from the car. My daughter wasn't going to budge from the bathroom. For 5 minutes, I just stood directly in between the car and the girls' bathroom, wondering what to do. These two women were stubborn. I knew I should have gone to work. I've never felt so helpless in my life, completely powerless to a 6-year-old girl protected by the force field of the girls' bathroom. Eventually, my daughter's accomplice was flushed out of the bathroom by her own mother. Now my daughter was alone, and I knew it would be just a matter of time before the social butterfly would become bored and lonely and hopefully come out. And after another 15-minute standoff, she relented. She came out of there smiling like nothing ever happened. Luckily for her, there was that PTA meeting, so she wasn't screamed at by me in public. I left that to her sick mom, who was stuck in the car for a lot longer than she wanted to be. Like I said before, there is no force on earth more powerful than a woman, and my daughter was about to find out the full force of her mother. Good luck, sweetie. By the way, I suggested that next year my wife get the flu shot.
Okay, folks, it's time to pop that top and let's get to those cocktails.
Hey, welcome to Stories and Cocktails, the drunken portion of the show. We're coming to you live on tape from the Stories and Cocktails studio, which sounds like a pretty sexy thing.
Oh, we have a studio now?
We do, yes. Actually, it sounds sexy when you say that we have a studio, but in reality...
I'm actually sitting in said studio, and I perked up. Like, oh, that's fucking sexy. But
You're like, is Dr. Dre behind the mixing board? Is he?
yeah,
is he
but
gonna
I'm
do some,
looking around, and I'm like, I'm not in a studio. I'm just in the second bedroom of our shitty apartment. Like, I'm literally looking at my dresser, like my hamper. I can hear the dog. The dog's in the podcasting studio.
Yes.
That's amazing.
This is not the production value I was looking for in episode 1.
He's got the zoomies. He'll calm down in a minute. He's got his little pizza.
Yeah, he does.
Okay, so this being episode 1, we know now that we live in a shitty apartment. We know that we have a dog. So I'm Sara.
I'm Rob.
You're Rob. We
Like to party.
No, I was gonna say that.
Oh, sorry.
You are a retired highway patrolman.
Yes.
I'm a retired teacher.
Yep.
We started this shit 2 years ago.
Correct.
So
This
we've
was
been
a Christmas present under the tree from Santa for me.
Yeah, no, 2 years ago, you were like, hey, I'm coming up on retirement. I probably need a hobby. And I looked at you and I was like, oh, you definitely need a fucking hobby because you'll drive me fucking batshit crazy if you don't have a hobby. So you said, what about a podcast? So this was your Christmas present.
Thank you, Santa. Mrs. Santa.
So for the last 2 years, we've been running around. We take the podcast gear with us everywhere. So when we're not in our air quotes studio in our apartment, we're making any hotel room, any parking lot that our RV parks in as a studio.
The road studio.
The road studio.
For the road show.
Exactly. So we've been doing this for about 2 years, but you wouldn't let us release the podcast until you retired.
Well, I didn't want to get fucking fired.
Right.
Because I said some shit that, I probably shouldn't have said as an officer of the law.
Exactly. Well, when you were an officer of the law, specifically like, DUIs, not that we ever drove drunk. We're not driving drunk. We're fucking sitting in.
We're PUI, podcasting.
We're podcasting under the influence. But it's still, it's a drunken podcast. We are, some people could say that we're, celebrating.
Promoting the use of alcohol.
Promoting the use of alcohol.
And we are. To be clear, we are.
No, we totally are. But it made sense that you didn't want to publish any of these. You didn't want to arrest a guy on Friday for a DUI, and then on Saturday you're releasing a podcast that's like, hey, y'all, let's all get fucked up and tell some stories.
Getting wasted is hilarious. I've got a funny story. I'd like to read you about it.
My wife and I, we can't stand each other unless we're fucked up. We just get drunk everywhere.
Let's get in the motor. I'm going to get wasted.
So as we're calling this one episode 1 because we want to intentionally introduce ourselves and just say, you're Rob, I'm Sara. The fucking dog that you hear in the background. His name is Magic.
That's Magic, the rescue dog.
You're going to hear him every once in a while.
You'll also hear my blood pressure boil as it fucking every time he makes a noise.
Yeah, he has this little pizza that squeaks, and he gets the zoomies, and he wants to run around with his little squeaker pizza, but it passes. It's already passed. He's chill. So
we're just regular people, folks.
Exactly.
We got a fucking dog.
We got 2 adult children. They don't live with us.
Thank God.
Thank God. In the last 2 years, though, one of them did live with us. So there's some podcasts about her moving out. If and God bless you if you do, but if you listen to us, you'll see they're not linear. They don't go in a row. Sometimes we're still working. Sometimes we're retired. Sometimes we're fat. Sometimes we're skinny. We're kind of all over the place.
Sometimes we're in Florida.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're in Texas.
Yeah, we travel a lot. That has kind of become our passion. We live in a shitty apartment so that we can afford to travel more. And we always take the podcast gear with us. So we've got podcasts from different states, different cities. Dare I say we're international?
Yeah, we have done this in Canada.
Yeah. We did a couple from Toronto.
Well, we started chasing all 30 ballparks. So we have kind of like, if we've hit 18 of them so far, you'll hear some of that adventure. So we didn't know this was going to happen, but we sort of done a lot of travel talk on the show. But ultimately, the stories you're going to hear from the different columns I've had over the years are going to be timeless as well. They're just about being married, having kids. They'll make you laugh, I promise. There's just talks about race car stuff. There's talk about jobs and marriage and just kids. Like, it'll all be funny. The podcast, we get drunk, and we sometimes talk about the story, talk about how, the story was bullshit or was realistic. So we cover that occasionally. Sometimes we just get too drunk.
We just don't want you to turn us off, because in episode 2, we're retired. And then in episode 3, I'm a math teacher. And then I have a 21-year-old, but then I have a 23-year-old, but then I have a 21-year-old again. They don't go in a row. They're
Right. You're talking about how much you like 48-year-old dick, and then later it's like you like 50-year-old dick. It's very confusing.
Same dick. He just aged
Right. Just a
2
little grayer,
years.
a little softer.
You got to understand that 2 drunken assholes are putting this thing together. They're editing it and they're putting it together. So it's not linear. It doesn't go in a row. Some of the podcasts, I had COVID. We actually podcasted through COVID. So you might be listening to it in 2024 and you're like, COVID is fucking over.
That's so lame.
It wasn't in 2022 when I had it and we podcasted through it.
So we're sorry we couldn't release this stuff. I didn't want to lose my fucking job. But now I'm retired and I don't care.
Yeah, no, we learned some things about ourselves since we retired. We learned that your moral compass was tied to your badge.
Yeah, I was an ethical person because I was supposed to be. I took an oath, and then when I retired, I flushed that oath down the toilet.
And I've been super confused by that because
you just thought I was a good guy.
Yeah, because my morals have never been tied to a job or a badge or anything like. I was just like a good person to be a good person. So you're like, hey, we didn't do that before, but we can now. I'm like, why would we? And you're just like, because we can. I won't lose my job and we can do this. I'm like, no, I didn't do this.
I'm not saying we're shoplifting as shit. I just may not push my grocery cart all the way to the receptacle this time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I mean, we're still pretty vanilla, decent people. But we
have spent some time with some edibles recently, which I didn't get to do until I retired. So last night we had quite the stoner evening at the Dollar Tree, buying instant mashed potatoes and mac and cheese and just fucking getting high as shit. That was super fun.
Yeah, you say so. It was not. It was like my, our first time with edibles since well, never, right? Like,
yeah, like the first time ever because I popped my cherry on it.
Yeah, on the edibles.
Yeah.
I mean, we were a couple of weed smokers back in the 90s.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Wait, you can't lose your job now. You can go ahead and be honest.
I definitely smoked weed in the 90s.
So we smoked weed in the 90s, but that was just the shit weed that you got from, I don't know, like the back pocket of your
some dude wearing
brothers.
A Metallica t-shirt and a friggin' stonewashed jacket with a fur on the inside.
Yeah, he just showed up with like a Ziploc baggie and like what you hoped was
like
weed.
2 fingers. That's an eighth.
Yeah, and you just hoped that it was weed, and sometimes it was oregano.
But at least I will say this about weed. I did learn fractions because I didn't really understand fractions until I started smoking weed. I'm like, oh, an eighth of a pound.
Yeah, but as someone who always understood fractions, weed math made no sense because back in the 90s, an eighth was like $50. So you're like, okay, so a pound is 400. No.
Maybe it was an eighth of an ounce. God damn it. Weed math is hard.
It turns out it's super hard. You didn't learn.
That's why now it's legalized. You just go down to the place and they just give you a little thing of edibles and they don't have to do fractions. You're just like, I would like to get high, please.
Right.
Give me this edible.
So and
they say to you, sir, take half. If they'll let you in. They didn't let me in one time. My license was expired.
But so we were a couple of weed smokers in the 90s, and then we put that shit behind us. We're like, okay, we got to be parents now. You got to be a cop now. I got to be a teacher now.
No more weed.
We're done with weed. It's illegal. It's hard to get.
Can't do it.
We can't afford to just accidentally buy fucking oregano when we think we're buying weed. We can't be associated with these people anymore. So we quit, and then I don't know, it became legal like 5 or 6 years ago.
And I was like the kid who didn't get to play. It's like, holy shit, weed's legalized, and now I'm a fucking police officer, and I can't smoke it. And I didn't. I waited until I retired.
Well, and at that point, our 19-year-old was smoking weed. Our 21-year-old was smoking weed like crazy. And I mean, I'm saying 19 because I don't want to be judged. She may have been
14.
18. No, she wasn't 14. But
as much as you know.
She's fucking.
We'll get her on the show later and ask her. She's like, oh yeah, I got high the first time when I was 13.
She's charging her vape pen in like the USB ports that you installed in the kitchen,
Not my best day as a father. I'll never fucking forget that. I was so excited. I'm like, baby, I'm going to put this outlet right here. USB, you can plug in your iPhone.
Charge our phones.
It'll be great. So convenient. Like, I'm just all about pragmatic when make everything's nice and organized. I fucking come home, and my daughter doesn't realize that I'm coming home late because I was working late, and then she has plugged in her vape pen, which is glowing purple, in the kitchen to smoke weed out of. And I was like, how much did I pay for this house? How much work did I do to put in that fucking USB so my daughter can fucking charge her vape pen? God damn, parenthood sucks.
And then and our daughter, she's looking at you at that point like it's your fault. Like, well, if you would have just put the USB ports in my room, I wouldn't have to do this.
Yeah, I have to walk all the way down the hall to take a hit.
You only thought that we would be charging things in the kitchen, like where you didn't think about putting USB ports.
How many things do you think we're going to charge your dad?
In all of the bedrooms.
Stupid fuck. How many outlets you put in the garage for your power tools? You gave us one USB port in the kitchen, you prick.
So at that point, and she may have even been 17. No. We're going to go with 18. We're going to say she was 18. So
that'll make you feel good when you go to bed tonight. She was definitely 18, and it was legal when she did it.
So a little 18-year-old smoking legal weed.
Although you had to be 21 to do it in California.
Making us fucking feel bad about where we chose to install USB ports in our home that we're paying for so she can charge our fucking vape pen. So we end up apologizing to her. Oh, you're right, sweetheart.
Oh, geez, honey.
Yeah.
Where would you like it? Would you like me to tear a hole in this wall? Is this work out for your bed height? You can just plug it in and take a little hit while you watch fucking Rick and Morty. Fucking
exactly.
goddamn it. She's like, what's the Netflix password, you piece of shit? Such a lucky dad.
You guys pay for the cheap fucking cable. I don't even get the new Rick and Morty streaming. I have to
exactly.
Watch the old shit. So yes, so you had FOMO because
everyone was getting high. It was like this big thing, and I couldn't do it.
Our children were getting high. So you finally retired, and we dipped our toe into legalized marijuana. We bought some edibles. Last night, we split one. We split a gummy.
Yep.
And you say it was super fun, and you loved it. I just know that I took said gummy at about 6:05, and at 8, I didn't feel relaxed. I didn't feel trippy. I wasn't like, hey, let's watch a movie and listen to the Pink Floyd, The Wall. Like, I didn't feel any of those things that I remember feeling from the 90s. I didn't feel horny. Like, none of that stuff that I used to associate with getting high. I just looked at you and I said, let's walk to the dollar store and let's get a bunch of fucking food. And so we're so baked. We walked to the dollar store. We bought all of the food for $1.
We spent $23 at the dollar store.
So we bought 23 fucking things.
We ate $23 worth of things.
Every single
night. This morning, there was no food left. There was just wrappers all over the fucking kitchen. Like 2 stoners went to the dollar store last night,
which
and
is
just
exactly
ate all the shit.
What happened. I bought shit I don't even normally eat, like shit I don't even like. And you bought 3 different types of Dollar Tree instant mashed potatoes.
Well, one was like garlic, and one was like cheese, and one was like regular. I was like, I'm gonna mix all 3 easy together because this is gonna taste so good. That was the weed talking. That was the gummy talking. That was like gummy recipes.
Yeah. And so you came home and made mashed potatoes. Okay, you know what the saddest part about this was, though, is that I woke up in the morning and, I felt like fat as fuck. I'm just like, oh my God, I ate all the carbs. I ate an entire box of mac and cheese. Like, I'm
with
looking
hot
around.
Cheetos crusted on top, which was delicious.
Yeah, no, and I'm looking around and they're just like
Again, stoner food.
Hot Cheeto crumbs all over the countertop. Like it looked.
It looks like someone killed a Hot Cheetos person.
No, but I woke up this morning and I was like, who lives here? Like a couple of fucking 19-year-old degenerates.
Well, that's what retirement's so great is because our kids sounded mad at us because they called us last night while we were running around the dollar store buying all this shit. And I'm like, look, your mom and I are retired. We got fucking high on edibles and we're eating all the food.
Addie FaceTimed me and I ran outside of the dollar store because I got super, super, super paranoid that like you can't FaceTime in the dollar store because that's super rude. So I was outside of the dollar store. You don't know this part. And I'm whispering into the FaceTime. I'm like, your dad and I, we shared an edible gummy.
Don't tell the government.
Don't tell anyone.
Yeah, you kept being super paranoid. I'm like, it's legal. We bought it legally.
She's
We're
like-
old enough to take it.
She's like,
You're
okay.
like, shh.
She's like, are you okay?
They know
Like,
we're high.
she's like, where are you at? Because it's like FaceTime and she sees that we're not in the shitty apartment. You know what I mean? It's just, she's like, are you okay? Where are you at? And I'm like, we're at a super cool store where they got like really good shit. The Dollar Tree. She's just like, oh my God. She goes, I don't know what to fucking do with
And you can
two
also
right
get
now."
a hell of a deal on a greeting card.
You can.
Here's a life hack, everybody. You heard it from us. When you need to buy a card, go to the dollar store because it's $1. And everywhere else, it's like $7, and no one will ever know you bought a dollar store card.
Yeah. No, you gotta like go. Actually, you should be like my grandma. My grandma was, oh God, she was so resourceful. God bless her. She would go to the dollar store and she would buy greeting cards for every occasion, and then she just kept them. So that way she
stocked
just
up.
always had one.
Yeah.
Yeah. She didn't even have to go to the dollar
Well,
store.
she
to
probably
get
went all ham and spent like $7 one day. Stocked
Yeah.
up for the whole year.
one. Yeah, like 7 cards.
Right.
Oh, but
Every holiday.
we did say that we walked to the dollar store, right?
We did.
We did not drive.
Well, that's the thing. What's really cool about when you live in dirtbag apartments, you're generally near a Dollar Tree, which is pretty convenient.
That's
you're
true.
like, oh man, I don't know. I've made a lot of good life choices. I'm living in an apartment next to Dollar Tree. Then you say edibles. You're like, this is the greatest
This is
fucking
the
day ever.
Best.
I just
thing
got
I
high,
ever
and then I
did.
walked to the Dollar Tree, and I don't even have a mortgage payment. It's fucking pretty great.
It's pretty smart.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Okay, so that's what I was gonna say. So I woke up this morning and I saw like the Hot Cheetos man had been murdered on the counter, and there's just like wrappers everywhere, and there's candy, and I like really wondered like what 2 19-year-olds like hung out in our apartment last night and fucked it up because I knew it wasn't us. You know what I mean?
God
Like,
no.
There was just like a pan where I just cooked mac and cheese, and I didn't even rinse it. I just left it on the oven.
Like a teenager. You're like, did you think your mom was coming over tomorrow to clean the kitchen?
Yeah, I was like, what the what the fuck?
Mom,
But
do the fucking dishes.
the part that I thought about, because then I was like, oh my God, we bought so much. And then when you think that thought in your head, we bought so much, then your next thought is, how much did it cost? And I'm like, $23 fucking dollars at the dollar store, which $23 is a shitload of money to spend at the dollar store in junk food. But then I had this next thought where I was like, dude,
We're hella frugal.
yeah.
I can spend that much money on one person at Taco Bell, and there's 2 of us.
No, I mean, we damn near spend that much money on a cocktail.
Oh, for sure.
A round of drinks, by the time you tip, we're looking at $30, right?
And
For
those
each of us
edibles
to
that we
get a
ate were
cocktail
probably about $2
each.
per. Yeah.
Yeah. So all in all, it was a cheap night.
$25 night. So one, we got to talk about what we're drinking so that we do this on every show. I am drinking a ranch water made with 21 seeds, cucumber jalapeno tequila, non-sweetened lime juice, and club soda. You helped make this for me. It's delicious. And what are you drinking tonight?
I am drinking an Albarino. It's a white wine made by Peloton from San Luis Obispo.
Ooh, a little wino action tonight.
Yeah, no, that sounded like just coming out of my mouth. It sounded so
I know,
wrong.
pretty pretentious.
So
Yeah,
hoity-toity.
you generally drink Bud Light on this show.
Yeah.
I generally drink a lot of different stuff, but tequila's a heavy hitter for me. But I thought episode 1, I'm going to go heavy with the tequila. But I do want to talk about the...
You know why? We will. I'm actually going to mention the hot tub right now. The reason I'm drinking wine, because I don't typically drink wine. I never drink wine. But I'm drinking wine because we went to the hot tub. There's something about, like, I just like right before we go to the hot tub, you're like, hey, what are you thinking? You think we should go take a dip in the hot tub tonight? And again, this is the apartment complex hot tub. So just so everyone understands that. It's a public hot tub.
It's not the Chateau Marmont,
But I
which
say,
actually doesn't have a hot tub.
but I say, I'm gonna crack open a bottle of wine. They go hand in hand. Like you won't really too often catch me drinking like a bottle of wine unless it's like we're going to the hot
tub night, yes.
Yeah, and so or if I'm wine tasting. So I only have this bottle of wine because we went wine tasting in Avila, and we liked this so much we bought it. But I've been waiting for a reason to crack it open. Anyways, tonight I cracked it open.
Nice.
Very nice.
Well, I'm glad you got your Peloton.
I got my Peloton.
You're riding the Peloton. A little
Yeah.
different one. This
No,
one gets
I'm
you
working
drunk.
out,
Doesn't-
dude.
You don't lose any calories. You just gain calories on this Peloton.
Oh no! I'm totally getting skinny over here drinking.
Oh,
this
hell
fucking
yeah.
Wine. Yeah.
Well, you're not eating a fucking bag full of candy like you did last night. So I would say that The wine calories are certainly going to be less than the Dollar Tree edible calories we consumed last night. What is your real estimation of how many calories we intaked last night after we ate the edibles? And we had a sensible, really good dinner, healthy dinner.
That was the thing, is that dinner was on point, dude. That
was
like
good.
A really good dinner.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, no one wants to hear me do fucking math facts in my head, because I could. I'm like,
Well, you are a math teacher. Retired.
So yeah, I could do it. It's gonna take a second, maybe a calculator, carry the one, but no one.
You are very good at it.
No one
I'm
wants to
always
hear me do that
impressed with
shit.
how you know the serving size and the calories for every fucking thing. You are really, really good at dieting.
No.
And you're also really, really good at feeling guilty about it when you're not dieting.
If I was good at dieting, I would have one size of jeans in my closet. I've got 4 sizes of jeans in my closet, and then I have another like 3 different sizes of jeans like stashed in like the linen closet, hiding underneath like a old bedspread, because I don't want you to know my shame that I have like literally 7 pairs of jeans that are all different sizes in this apartment right now.
These are the secrets you're keeping from me?
Yeah.
You're letting them out on the show for everyone to hear?
Yeah.
Damn.
My secrets are that, surprise, anyone who's ever fucking looked at me, I'm a different size on Monday than I am on fucking Tuesday the following week. Because
food tastes fucking good.
Because I'm not good at dieting. I'm good at knowing how many calories I consumed, but I'm not good at not consuming them. You know what I'm saying?
Fair enough.
I'll fucking eat all the calories. I'll do it.
So we were in the hot tub tonight. We were enjoying a little wine at the hot tub. I was drinking tequila at the Divorce Court Village, and it's actually pretty nice.
And actually tonight, like most nights, actually, we get the hot tub to ourselves.
Yeah, it's good.
It's crazy. It's the nicest like hot tub and pool complex. It's like a Las Vegas style pool out there. And I don't know, what do you think? There's probably 500 units here. And yet it's always just you and me in the hot tub.
Well, it is a weeknight and we're retired. So people have jobs, It's fucking poor bastards.
Oh, is that what's going on?
I'm assuming they're doing their kids' homework and shit.
I always feel like they look out and they're like, who's in the hot tub? And they see us and they're like, oh shit, it's those old fat fuckers again. And then they like go back in their house and they're like, we'll go later.
The cool kids.
That's just me being insecure.
Well, yeah, when we keep talking like, we have full access to this thing. No one's in there. Like, you guys are in there at 6:30. Like, the cool kids go in at 10:30. You guys are asleep.
That's true.
You're like, well, we watched an episode of Friends and we were in bed by 10:30.
That's true.
Fucking ragers.
Well, I did say to you at like 5:45, I was like, you want to go get in the hot tub? And you were like, I just finished eating dinner, because we eat dinner before 5:45. You're like, can I digest my food? And I was like, if I sit here much longer.
You were like, you're missing the window, bro.
Yeah, I was like, I'm going to lose my motivation.
No, and I know that about you because I know that you're all about windows. It's like,
I am.
a window to have sex, very narrow. A window for the hot tub, narrow. A window to leave the house. There's if you miss your window, you're fucking doing nothing.
Well, at 5:45, I was like, look, I'm taking my bra off. I'm either taking my bra off and getting into like my pajamas for like winding down time.
Exactly.
Or I'm taking my bra off to put my bathing suit on to go down to the hot tub. But I'm like, I'm taking my bra off at 5:45. You choose.
The girls
where
are
we go
coming
next.
out some way.
Yeah. And you're
And
like,
I'll be like, can I play with them? You're like, no, that window's closed.
yeah, no, that's not the window that we're in right now or on. So I was like, you choose your own adventure. You're like, I need to digest this food. And I'm like looking at you. I'm like, you got like 2 fucking seconds to decide. Like,
well, I'm like, look, I want to have the sex. You're like, that window's not even on this building.
yeah, no.
You're on a different building, son. This building has a spa window and a Netflix window. And right now, it's like it's a Venn diagram where they're kind of merging together. You might be able to do both, but there's no sex on this fucking building.
Because that comes after the Netflix or after the spa, after the bottle of wine. Anyways, you chose correctly. We went down to the hot tub.
Did I?
Yeah.
My dick doesn't think so.
Oh my goodness. That's not the window that we're in yet.
Gotcha. All right.
Because we had to do the podcasting.
Well,
We're in the podcasting window.
Yeah,
right now.
oh shit! Well, that's another window too, because you're like, I'm getting tired, or I'm too drunk.
I'm getting too drunk to fucking.
Yeah,
podcast.
I'm.
Yeah.
I like it when you close the window in the middle of an episode. You're like, yeah, this is not funny. Fucking fuck it.
This being the first episode, I don't want you to fucking confuse anyone when you're like talking about sex and the window and the podcasting. Like they're never in the same window. This is not a porno podcast. We don't fuck in the podcast.
No, it's a marriage podcast where we talk about a lack of fucking.
Yeah.
But sometimes, don't get me wrong, we fuck.
Yeah.
I don't want you to get your feelings hurt that your girlfriends from high school are like, oh, Sarah's not fucking.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't get my feelings hurt about that. I get my reputation hurt about
You don't want to be reputation harmed?
Yeah. No, I don't want people to know, that there's like a window and that it's like
Well, like
difficult.
any
and-
marriage, I'm just trying to shame you into sex.
I know
That's how
that's
it works.
True. That's true, and I don't give a
I'm-
shit.
Yeah, exactly.
If people know,
Just-
that's exactly.
I'm just sex shaming you so I can have sex again.
The gender roles are so goddamn strong in this marriage. Like, I'm not gonna catch you doing the dishes. You're not gonna catch me changing a tire. Like, what's a
Yeah, if you're looking for like a
hammer?
really progressive, like new wave lifestyle, that's not us. We are 1950s fucking gender roles. We had two
Yeah.
kids, a boy and a girl, a dog, a Ford in the driveway. Like our life is pretty American basic. I mean, my God, you were a cop, I was a teacher. No, I was a cop, you were a teacher. I
Yeah.
don't know. Fucking edible still kicking.
You
in
were
me from
you were a
yesterday.
cop. I was a teacher.
Who cares now? I'm fucking retired.
That's true. We're both retired.
Well, let's talk about
but-
something that's important.
But
The
the
hot tub.
but the gender roles though are like the man, you gotta chase it, and I gotta try to get you to do the dishes for it or something. Like you gotta jump through some hoops. So and then
Yeah, you're like, fuck a
reward
back
you.
rub. Go do the dishes.
Yeah,
And then you'll find me available. That window will be open.
the back rubs are nice though too.
Yeah.
Nothing opens a window like a good back rub.
I always say nothing opens the legs like a good back rub. I'm very more specific.
There you go.
When it comes to sex, I want to be crude about it. I don't want to use an analogy
No.
about a window.
I know you don't.
How do I get your legs open?
There's no metaphors. There's no analogies. There's just straight to it.
Punch it in.
There you go. There you go. So anywho's it the hot tub.
Hot tub, yeah. So I guess I've oversold this, but here's the deal. When I'm in the hot tub with you tonight, you had the opportunity as a retired teacher where on Facebook someone asked you to help their junior high school daughter with some homework, math homework, and they know that you're an expert. You have a degree in this. So they're like, Sarah,
not-
will you help us?
Well, I'm not an expert because I am an expert because I have a degree, but also
That's
her,
what an expert is.
her daughter is in 7th grade, and that was my jam. That was
So
my
that
bread
makes
and
you an
butter.
expert.
Yeah, no, I taught 7th grade math for 15 years. Like,
Yes.
I'm not an expert in like 11th grade math. I'm not an expert in 9th grade math, but I mean, fucking 7th grade math, 15 years.
Okay, well, I get,
Converting
I
decimals,
see you're
fractions, percents.
underselling that you're not an expert, that you're not going to get a job at Oracle and make us a shitload of money. You're just going to be an unemployed teacher
Yeah.
who has 15 years experience as a 7th grade math teacher.
I don't want all of a sudden someone to be like asking me like fucking calculus questions. You know what I mean? Like once upon a time I knew how to do calculus, but 15
You
years.
learn and purge that.
It's 15 years in 7th grade math. I pretty much forgot
Right.
how to find a fucking derivative. You know what
But
I'm saying?
as your spouse and you went to work, I would come home and listen to you talk about work. And so if you guys think that it's exciting to hear about a junior high math classroom every night when you come home, it is actually not very exciting. So you retired, and then I was like, great, no more fucking my Wednesday evenings hearing about how little Johnny didn't know how to do fucking knows what an integer is. I'm like, I don't even know what a fucking integer is. Fuck Johnny, right? So
yeah.
So tonight you go away for an hour, which is great. I was like, yeah, leave. Like we're together 24 hours a day. Weren't you supposed to leave today? Go fucking coach somebody in math. Just leave the fucking house. So you'd leave me for an hour. You call me twice, which I was like, you don't have to call me. I live with you. Fucking leave me alone.
No, okay. That's
I'm trying to
true.
jerk off over
No,
here.
you're making me sound like a crazy person. You're making me sound like a crazy, and you love to do that because you're sexist, and you love to just make women sound crazy. But the only reason they called you twice is because we made the decision 5 seconds before I was going to go help her with math. We made the decision that we were going to move 2 gates down to the other apartment, and
That just makes sense.
well, right, but it was a very, very. It was a mediocre decision. It wasn't a very, very big decision. But I mean,
It was
moving.
it was a decision we made on drugs.
We got to pack up our
So
shit.
we're like, is this decision we made on drugs a good decision? Probably not. So I would like to call and talk to you. And I'm like, don't call me. I'm jerking off. You just left the house. Leave me alone.
I don't know how you could jerk off in the middle of windows are like. I mean, this is a big decision that we were making. Like, should we move? Because moving is hard. You got to take all of this shit off the walls, and you got to walk it 110 yards through 2 gates. By the way, we got to walk through 2 fucking gates,
It's gonna be hard to carry our stuff and press the key fob.
and then we got to hang it up in the new place. And moving is a big thing. Like, I don't know how you felt sexually aroused in the midst of all of that, but I was like, we were in the
I was
middle.
sexually aroused because the side of my pants grazed my penis. I was like, ooh.
Oh, right in the middle of making
Yeah,
this
I'm like,
big
I'm just gonna
decision.
make love to myself right now.
Right. So I didn't know that you were trying to
Well, you just assume if you left the house, I'm jerking off.
that you're jerking off.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Okay.
I don't know how you say you didn't know.
I did.
Because you fucking find a way to call me in the middle of it every time.
I don't understand.
You want anything from the store? Yes.
I don't understand because before I left the house, you're jerking off. It just seems like you do a lot of jerking off. You know
I'm
what I
trying
mean?
to keep my prostate healthy. I read a study that said you
So
need
anyways.
to have 20 orgasms a month as a male my age, otherwise your prostate can be damaged.
You're making me sound like a crazy person because I'm calling you. But I'm calling you because we're in the midst of this huge decision. But in the midst of this huge decision, I had made this appointment. I had told my friend I will be there at 3:30.
Oh wow, it's an
tutor
appointment.
your daughter.
That sounds very official.
Yeah, no, because she has to go to basketball practice at 5 and she gets out of school at 3 and she needed math tutoring. And so there was like a very small window
That's an appointment.
that we could get this math tutoring done. And so she's relying on me to get there at 3:30 and it's like 3:25 and you and I are still looking at this apartment trying to decide if we should move or not. And so it was a very important decision, but I had to weigh it against this math appointment. So I called you, not because I'm a crazy person, but because we were in the midst of a big decision.
I never accused you of being crazy. I was just explaining what happened.
Okay, I don't know why I would be the crazy one.
I don't know why you're defending yourself
I'm
being crazy.
I'm going to I'm going to go assist a very, very bright young woman and help her with her math so that she has a bright future.
She could solve climate change, for God's sake.
I'm doing really good work.
I mean, who knows what she's going to do?
And you were tugging on your dick. And yet, in the narrative, I'm the crazy one. Like, I'm the fucking one who's crazy because I call you. And I'm like, I'm doing good, like really good work.
I'm just going to change my voicemail. Hi, this is Rob Kreider. I'm currently jerking off. That's why I'm not answering the phone. I'm retired.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, so anyway.
So I got to hear a lot of math talk, and so I have not had to hear it for a couple months because you've been retired since the summer. And then tonight we're in the hot tub, and then we were like kind of getting hot, and you're like, we should probably go. Maybe we should podcast. I'm like, great. You're like, hold on a second. I need to tell you something. And I was like, oh man, it sounded kind of ominous. I'm like, oh shit, am I in trouble? Like for jerking off? And I'm like, what's mine? I got to tell you something. I'm like, okay. So I was like, I also had to pee. So I was like, okay, what are you going to tell me? And then you're like, so, and then you went into a 30-minute diatribe of like learning domains and math and fractions and decimals and like notebooks and are you really making a difference in society, and this girl's teacher sucks and blah 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 blah, and the internet and fucking homework. And I was like, oh, I don't give a fuck, but we're doing it while wearing a really cute red bikini. So I was listening because I was like, damn, you look good in that bikini. And I was like, you could tell me anything you want right now. Just wear a bikini when you're doing it. And then I'm totally enthralled. And I was like nodding my head, and I was making eye contact when I wasn't looking at your breasts. And I seemed interested, you know what I mean? Even though I had to pee and I didn't fucking care.
I'm such a lucky girl.
You are a lucky
You
girl.
Are so attentive to my emotional needs.
Yes. Let's get to the story
As
here.
long as I'm wearing
A bikini.
bikini.
And there's a
Got
window
it.
for sex.
Right.
Okay, so the story is called No Boys Allowed, published December 29th, 2005 in the Santa Maria Sun. This is about really, the impossibleness that is living with you, my wife, and my daughter. I was in the middle of the two of you, and all of that, and dodging the PTA.
Yeah. Oh, dodging the PTA. That's
tough.
Serious fucking business.
Tougher than Russian KGB. They're fucking on you, dude. They know where you live, where your kids are in class, what you do for a living, when you're available. They're like, I know you have vacation. You can help out with the bake sale. You're like, fuck, how the fuck do you know that?
Yeah, no, they know everything. The PTA.
They're up in your business.
Yeah,
dude. The
and
PTA.
And they're serious business, and so avoiding them is also serious business. Like,
And we did a good job of
you
it.
got to be like a fucking ninja.
We were fucking assholes. We did not really. Here's the thing I will say about us. Because you had a job in education and I was in policing, we kind of felt like we gave back to society
did.
every fucking day at work.
We
So
did.
like after work, I'm like, I'm done fucking giving. So the school's like, hey, we need some help. Cub Scouts like, can we get some help? Can't fucking help you. Helped all day at work.
Yeah, no, we were like fucking
We totally did that.
self-righteous about the shit.
We totally were.
Yeah, we were just like, hey, I just spent all fucking day with other people's kids. Like,
Yeah, I just spent all day arresting kids.
yeah,
I'm
like,
fucking not gonna help you.
I'm not doing this shit. Like I'll do what I want when I feel like it, but shit. I'm not doing your shit.
Thank you for your service, Cub Scout dude, because we need Cub Scouts, but I can't help you do shit.
Yeah, no, that was definitely okay. So I love this story. This is one of my favorites, and I told you that this is one of my favorites because this is one that I have recycled over and over and over again throughout the years. Like, I feel like of all of your stories, you know, I'm just like sitting in a space where my friends are talking and they're like, oh, I'm going through this or whatever. And this is one where I'm like, oh shit, I got a story about that. Like, I'm going to send it to you. You know, like it's like, oh, you were sick last weekend and your husband was totally fucking worthless. I got a story. I'm going to send it to you. Like, oh, you know.
So you would just like email this shit to your friends.
Yeah, no, this one's not even online. So I had to like snap a picture of it and send it to them. So like I sent it to my cousin because, you know, and everyone's about 10 years behind us. And I don't mean like they're 10 years behind us because we're so progressive. It's just like we started really early.
Yeah, you were a teenage pregnancy.
Yeah. So I was
you were
not.
19 in one day.
I was not. No, it would be 19 and 364
You were 366 days.
Yeah, I was 19 and 366 days, which would make me fucking 20.
Pretty sure I hit the egg at 19. Day before your birthday.
You didn't. I was 20.
Because it makes me laugh to say you were a teenage pregnancy.
And I was 20.
Either way, we were fucking young.
Okay, so I was just barely 20. I got pregnant. So yeah, so everyone's about, 5 to 10 years behind us. So as they've kind of like gone through this is the story that I'm like, oh, 5-10 years ago, Rob wrote a story about this. I'm going to send it to you. So I sent it to my cousin and I thought like, it was fucking hilarious. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, those fucking PTA bitches, dude. They'll fucking get you.
They'll get me your shit.
And she's like, I'm the PTA president. Like, why would you think that I would relate to this? Like, why would I relate to some fucking piece of shit mom out sick, sitting in her car,
wearing pajamas?
Wearing pajamas. Like, well, I am the president. I am literally responsible.
Oh, your husband lurks by the door, not making eye contact, so we can ask him to help build a fucking float for the goddamn parade.
I'm responsible for the fall carnival. That all falls on me. I'm the president of the PTA. Like, why would you think I would relate to that?
I remember you two fuckers showing up at the fall carnival every year with a goddamn big gulp, which we pretty sure had alcohol in it.
Well, she doesn't.
Degenerate assholes.
She doesn't remember us doing that because our kids are not at the same elementary school. But she's like, you were the type that would do that. Like, and I was like, yes, we are. And
because the carnival sucked.
And it was like, why are you sending me this article? And I'm like, yeah, I just want you to know. I want you to know how the other 99% of the parents feel.
But thanks for your service. I'm sure that all the kids had the perfect backpack and lunchbox and fucking bus to whatever the hell the PTA does. I don't even know what they do. But I guess it's important.
They do the fall carnival.
God, Jesus, is that important?
Yes, that raises all of the money for the whole year.
I'm a taxpayer. Doesn't the school get fucking money from my taxes?
That's how all of the classrooms get crayons and Kleenex.
Well, I know that you were a teacher, and it seemed like every year Officer Kreider fucking paid for all that shit out of his CHP income.
You know why? Because my school didn't have a good PTA. Because middle schools, they don't have good PTAs. No one gives a shit about middle school.
So I guess I should have been more supportive of the PTA.
Like elementary school, it's 7 years, K through 6. Like that's like a long time for like the PTA to build and
sucker you in.
Right, and just like really
please enter this cult.
Right, but middle school is 2 years. Like we don't have a PTA. Like no one gives a shit. So, I'm like, kids are sneezing all over themselves. And I'm like, do we have Kleenex? I'm like, no, that's a middle school or that's an elementary school luxury. We don't got that here.
That party's over.
Yeah,
welcome to puberty.
No fucking Kleenex. I'm like, exactly. You know what? Wipe it on your jeans and hope no one notices because you won't get a date to Sadie's in high school if you're fucking wiping your snot on your jeans in middle school.
Because every girl in this room has a memory like a fucking elephant.
Yes.
And they'll remember every dumb thing you ever did.
Yeah. That's exactly what happens.
Yeah, that's life, man. That's life.
Yeah.
All right, so welcome to Stories and Cocktails. This is the show. We get drunk. We talk about the story. We go all over the place. None of it will be in order, but I assure you it'll entertain you. Or if you think we're annoying as shit, I don't blame you. And, let's raise a glass. And cheers.
Hold on, everybody. It's not last call yet. We have another story on this episode. Excuse me, ma'am. Can I get another round?
If
If you enjoy hearing Rob Kreider's different humor columns here on the Stories and Cocktails podcast, then I promise you will love his novel, Cadet Blues. Cadet Blues is Rob's hilarious tell-all about desperately trying to survive the shock and awe boot camp-style training at the California Highway Patrol Academy. People from all different walks of life have come to love this book because Cadet Blues is simply a crazy good read. Heartfelt, inspiring, and damn funny. It's available in paperback through Amazon, eBay, or cadetblues.com, where you can get free shipping and a personalized autographed book. Or you can download a digital copy of Cadet Blues from Amazon Kindle, Barnes & Noble Nook, or Apple iBooks. Do yourself a favor and check out the novel, Cadet Blues.
Okay, folks, we have one drink down the gullet, which means we need to get our next one on deck. Time to enjoy the second story. Bartender!
This story is called Baby Back Ribs by Rob Kreider. Hey, that's me. Time passes on, the season cycle, and summertime brings on the inevitable family vacation. My wife, whom I love, has been planning this year's supersized vacation ever since she got her Malibu Barbie beach house in the first grade. So thanks to the marketing geniuses at Mattel, I had to pony up the money to rent us a beach house for our summer vacation this year. How could I afford to rent a beach house? I couldn't. Luckily for me, and even luckily for the people who collect compounding interest, the rental agency accepted credit cards. The grand culmination of our week at the beach was that we were going to take a bicycle trip with the kids. The entire family had new bikes, again thanks to the credit card. The plan was to ride our bikes down the paved path along the beach like one big happy family, saving the world from global warming. There was only one problem. We never really taught our daughter how to ride her bike. 30 seconds into the family bike ride, she put her beach cruiser into the side of a BMW. In my daughter's defense, she did successfully negotiate around 3 beat-up Honda Civics prior to crashing into the brand new BMW, which didn't even have a license plate yet. As I saw my little girl go down in a blur of pink bicycle, ponytails, and tears, I started to pedal as fast as I could to come to my daughter's rescue. As I got close, I attempted some type of Lone Ranger moving dismount for my bike. Somehow, during all of my fatherly heroics, my front wheel got sideways, which sent me, quite surprisingly I might add, over my handlebars and into the air. I did some sort of triple Lindy swan dive and rolled onto my back, landing with all my weight square onto my right side ribcage. My daughter and the Beamer were fine. It was nothing some Kleenex to wipe the tears and some polishing compound to wipe the driver's door couldn't fix. I, on the other hand, couldn't take in a breath. The wind had been fiercely knocked out of me, and my ribs felt like someone was pounding an ice pick into my side with a sledgehammer. I couldn't speak because I couldn't breathe, but I was able to roll around and groan and make noises like ack. Ack is the universal sound for I am dying. My wife called 911. I laid there and felt shame as I heard the sirens approaching in the distance and knew they were coming for me. First on the scene was a huge fire truck. This seemed odd to me because it wasn't as if my beach cruiser had flipped over and burst into flames. The firemen asked me my name and my social security number. I would have loved to have told them, but it hurt too badly to speak. After a few minutes of the firefighter poking me in the ribs and asking things like, "Does that hurt?" the paramedics arrived and asked me my name and my social security number. Then they took their turn, poking me in the ribs and asking stupid questions like, "Does that hurt?" I don't know why they needed verbal confirmation from me regarding my pain level, because each time they poked me, my body did the funky chicken on the sidewalk. Everyone knows the funky chicken is sign language for, "That hurts like hell." They put me on a stretcher and roughly loaded me into the ambulance. I could feel every single imperfection in the roadway with my ribs as the ambulance tore through town on what felt like a set of square tires. To add insult to injury, they jammed an IV into my arms. Sharp needles and fast-moving vehicles, good times. At the ER, they asked me my name and social security number. I still couldn't speak and was beyond annoyed at this point. Don't any of these medical factions talk to each other? My wife gave the firefighters that information at the beginning of this nightmare. Couldn't they just put that information on a tag and maybe hang it off my big toe or something? Then the big question came up. Were you wearing a bicycle helmet? I shook my head no. This changed the entire mood in the room. I was now a leper. I could hear the hushed whispers. He wasn't wearing a bicycle helmet. Confirm? No head protection was used? Doctor, this patient wasn't wearing a bicycle helmet. It was like I had just shaken a baby. No, I wasn't wearing a bicycle helmet, but I also wasn't bleeding from the head. I landed on my ribs, hence why I can't breathe. They x-rayed my chest and found out what I had been trying to tell anyone who would listen. Ack! My ribs were fractured. An assistant came into the room and said with a thick accent, "Okay, it's time to take your bloody pressure." Bloody pressure? Is a person really qualified to take vital signs if they mispronounce the word blood? I'm no doctor, but I have seen ER and scrubs enough times to know it isn't called bloody pressure. Then they brought in a trainee so she could learn how to draw blood. 6 tries and 6 different holes in my arm later, she finally got it. I'm sure her parents are proud, but my left arm now looks like Swiss cheese. Finally, the doctor sat down on the side of my bed, which hurt my ribs, and gave me the news. There's nothing we can do for you. This was not the news I was looking for. Your body will heal itself over time. Then he said something very positive. We can give you something for the pain. Well, okay, doc. That's what I've been waiting for. Forget Corona. My new favorite beer is Vicodin. By the way, I'm currently at home enjoying my new summer vacation. 4 to 6 weeks of Vicodin.
Okay, patrons, you've been to this bar before. You know it's cocktail hour again. Are we doing shots or what?
Yeah. Welcome to Stories and Cocktails, everybody. We've been drinking all day again. This is a road trip
show?
episode here in the Tiki RV Tiki. We went around our favorite place in the whole wide world planet, that is Newport Beach, California, where we rode our beach cruisers around. We bought tiki heads to add to the decor of the Tiki RV.
We were not just in Newport though. We rode all the way to Huntington Beach.
Yes, which is a legit ride if you don't know any better.
Yeah.
But not only did we ride that ride, which is a lot of mileage, but the wind was to our backs the entire time. So it was to our backs on the way to Huntington Beach, and then we got drunk at Huntington Beach, and then we rode our bikes
Still at our backs.
back to Newport Beach
So kind of magical.
to our backs. And you were very concerned. You're like, that ride home is going to be terrible. It's going to be hard.
Yeah, I did not want to ride into it.
You were very worried about it. But it worked out
It did.
because the wind was to our backs.
It was magical.
It was fantastic. And a fantastical day.
May the wind always be at your back.
Yes, for sure.
That's what I'm going to say to
Absolutely.
people. That's going to be my new saying.
Hit
now.
that shit from the
It's
back.
Just may the wind always be at your back. Now, I mean, you made it dirty, but I'm just like saying like that's.
Cheers. May the wind be at your
May the wind be at your back.
Okay.
Because that's a good thing.
It is.
You can ride your bike far if the wind is at your back.
And speaking of riding bikes, the story today we're going to talk about is a story about when I crashed my bike here in Newport Beach.
Here.
Baby Back Ribs, published in the Santa Maria Sun, August 24th, 2006. In fact, today I rode past Hoag Hospital where I was a guest for a number of days.
Yeah.
So I felt like a little victory today. I'm like, here I am, healthy, feeling good, looking good, riding my beach cruiser past Hoag Hospital, as opposed to going into Hoag Hospital in the back of a fucking ambulance while firefighters took my bike to the fire station and then you took the kids back to the rental house. It was so emasculating, like I was fucking
no.
nightmare.
The firefighters didn't take your bike to the firehouse.
Oh, they did. You had to go back and get it.
Oh, maybe when I went back and get it. At one point, no. Because I had both bikes. Like we couldn't ride our bikes back. Me and the kids couldn't ride our bikes back to the beach house
Yeah.
because I had to walk 2 bikes.
Oh, I thought they took the bike back to the firehouse and you went back later and made friends with all the firefighters and got my bike. And then you walked 2 bikes
That's
back.
just the funny part that we say. Why would I ride 2 bikes back from the firehouse?
I don't know.
No.
I was in the hospital.
I walked both bikes home. So you're in the hospital. I don't know what's wrong with you.
Yeah.
I don't know how bad you are.
I'm dying.
Right? At this point, I do think you're dying.
I thought I was
And
dying.
I can't go to the hospital until I get the bikes home to the beach house and then until I get the kids like secure. Like we have to drop off the bikes. We got to get the car. We got to go see dad in the hospital. Or I think I ended up having my brother take the kids so that I just went to the hospital without the kids. But we had to get the bikes back across the ferry.
Yep.
So I took
The Balboa
both
Ferry.
bikes across the ferry. I'm a stressed out wreck. You know, I got 2 kids.
Young kids.
They're just like, whatever. Like, you know, I mean, how kids are fucking, like, their heads are up their asses. Kids' heads are up their asses.
Yeah.
And we brought all the bikes back. And I, you know, like I said, I thought you were dying. Turns out you weren't.
Well, I had.
That was a lot of work for me to find out you had a bruise.
Well, according to me, I had multiple fractured ribs.
Oh, you were, yeah.
But then later they said actually I had a bruised rib.
You had a bruised rib.
They did keep me in the hospital for
Like one
3
bruise.
days.
One bruise.
Was I there 2 nights?
They said we want okay, this is a point of contention in our marriage. This is a he said she said situation. Now,
Sure.
he says they kept me there cuz I was like too injured to be released from the hospital.
Yeah, because I was dying.
And what I say, cuz you don't know, you were on narcotics. I was not on narcotics. I was sober as a judge trying to pick you up. And they were like, we want to send him home with you, but he suffers from being a pussy. And he's begging us to stay. Like, he wants to stay on these pain meds. He's asking for a dosage of pain meds that we legit cannot release him to you while he's on, this morphine drip. He has to stay. And I'm like, he has to stay. Like what is even wrong with him? And they're like, well, he has a bruised rib and he's a pussy. Like, I'm sorry, ma'am.
I was more of a ball sack because pussies are tough.
That's true.
Balls are sensitive.
That's true. I'm changing it up because I hate the P word. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. I hate the P
I was
word.
a ball sack in there.
I'm trying to change it up. I'm trying to make it in a nut sack. So they were like, ma'am, your husband, I'm sorry to tell you, he's a nut sack. And we need to keep him another night for observation to just see, like, how does he even get through the workday? Like, does he have a job? Because a nutsack like this, like, does he have a job?
Can't possibly be gainfully employed. He's such a wuss.
He does, dude. Like, we rented a beach house. Like, we're balling, man. Like, we finally fucking made it.
Yeah, this dude makes good money.
Yeah, like, he makes enough money for us to rent an Airbnb to stay here on this beautiful island and pretend like we belong here.
Which we don't.
Which we didn't. Which you proved when you were on the bike trail. Just, I'm dying.
Most pain I've ever been in my life. Horrible situation. Thought I was dying. I thought I lost a lung. I thought I fractured multiple ribs. I couldn't breathe.
None of those things happened.
I was admitted to the hospital in an ambulance. Everybody looked at me like something was wrong with me, like I was really being a wuss about it. This is what I'll say about it. The doctor hated my guts because I ended up throwing up in front of him and shit because I was like, I throw up anytime like this. I just throw up for whatever reason. It's just like, oh, I'm going to throw up that. So he just looks at me like, I hate this guy. Why the fuck is he in here? And then the next day or the second day, I don't remember what days I was in there, but you came in at like 11 because there was a sign that says like checkout's at 11, like a fucking hotel. So you show up at 11 and you're like, I'm ready to get him out of here. They're like, he's not leaving for like 5, 6, 7 hours. And then you're like, what am I even here for then? Like, you're like totally mad at me.
Because I had to get babysitters.
You're mad at the hospital.
Every time I went to the hospital,
When
I had
the
to
fuck
get
is he getting outta here?
babysitters for the kids. And it's not like we're in our home or like our hometown where, I mean, we were on vacation. We were on rented time. Every minute
was rented time.
And
just for the record, you did remind me over and over and over again how even though I was admitted to a hospital, you're like, you're ruining our vacation. I'm just like, I'm sorry. I didn't want to fucking crash my bike and fucking end up in the hospital. I didn't ask for this. These fuckers kept me here. They have admitted me because I'm injured to the point where I can't go home. And you're like, no, you asked to stay.
You
I'm
did
like,
ask.
I did not say. I'm like, sir, may I stay
listen.
another evening here at this fine establishment? At the
4
Hope
minutes
Hospital?
ago.
I didn't
4
fucking
minutes
do that.
ago, I said this is a point of contention. I just stated this.
For good reason.
He said, she said. Here's the thing: is one of us was in a lot of pain and on narcotics, and the other person was clear as a goddamn judge minded. I am telling you, and you still argue with me. I am telling you. You were like, "Can I please stay here? I'm in so much pain," and the doctors were like, you, sir, are a ginormous nutsack, but okay, if you want to pay another night. So when I say you asked to stay, you literally asked to stay. Can I stay in the hospital?
Do you know how hospitals work? You don't get to ask to stay.
Honey.
You either fucking have the medical condition that keeps you there overnight or you don't. Or in our case, I was heavily insured. So like,
exactly.
You know what? You could
I was
probably
like,
stay.
are you kidding me right now? You're telling me, do you
I
know
got
how
good
hospitals
insurance,
work?
y'all.
You had great
It pays to work for the
insurance.
state of California. I had great insurance. I spent 3 nights at the Hoke Hospital. Fucking food was delicious.
Yes, you asked to stay.
And I ruined our vacation. I'm sorry. So listen, it doesn't go past me as we come back here often. We come here at least once a year, a lot of times for spring break. We bicycle around on the same bike path that I went down in. And we're always like, watch out for the sand. Your fucking front tire might wash out. I am glad to be upright. I'm glad we got home safe today because we had some proper fucking day drinking today. We went all the way to Huntington Beach where I drank mezcal, barrel-aged, old-fashioned mezcal.
When I think about you, like how quick you went down and how one fall had you just down for the count at Hoke Hospital for like 3 days,
Yes.
begging to stay there because
Requesting an extra room.
requesting exactly because you
Can I get a late checkout?
yeah
Can I get some more Vicodin?
yes
Orange juice?
yeah ice chips.
Ice chips?
Um, when I think about that, I cannot believe I even still ride bikes with you. Like you are so fragile. You are
I'm a little wussy nutsack.
fragile, dude. You
Yeah.
are one fall on the bike away from 3 days in the hospital, dude.
Well, I think I've toughened up since then.
I fell on my bike and I don't even remember it. I just got right back up and I just rode my
You
bike
have a
to the
scar to
next
prove it.
bar. And
You were bleeding.
and I have another bike fall. So I've got that one. And then I have a second bike fall that you and I don't even remember, and it's cuz you stopped to pee. You were
Yes,
peeing.
that is my fault.
You were peeing, and then I stopped to tell you, like, do not pee here.
This is a public place, sir.
That is horrible. Why are you peeing here? And when I stopped to tell you not to stop to pee, that's when I felt. I don't remember any of this. I just know, like, later I was like, my shoulder is fucked up. My sweatshirt.
Why am I bleeding?
My sweatshirt's torn. Like, all of the clues are there. I had to be like a CSI investigator just to figure out my own fault.
It was like the hangover backwards. Like,
'Cause
why is there this receipt in my pocket? Where did it go? Oh shit! Why am I scraped up?
I only know. And here's the thing: you got sold out by my brother.
Yeah, that fucker. Thanks,
'Cause-
Skyler. You son of
yeah.
a bitch.
Because I was like, hey, weird. My shoulder is all scabbed up like I fell. And my sweatshirt is torn like I fell. I'm like, I don't remember falling. And Skylar's laughing. He's like, no, you fell. You don't remember falling? I'm like, no, I already fucking said I don't remember
Don't
falling.
recall this,
I
sir.
don't recall this. And he's like, because he wants to stir the shit, right?
He's like, yeah, Rob's
he's
not
like-
take a piss.
He goes, do you remember why you fell? And he's like, he's got the shit-eating grin. Do you remember why you fell? I'm like, I don't
Could have been
remember
for any number of
falling.
reasons. I don't know, sir.
How can I remember why I fell if I don't even remember falling in the first fucking place? Like, established, I don't fucking remember any of it. And he's just like, you don't remember Rob peeing in those people's front yards? And you was stopping. And I'm like,
It wasn't
Oh
anybody's front
my
yard. It's a
God.
side yard next to a bike trail. It's not. I wasn't just pissing on someone's garden gnome.
you were pissing on someone's garden gnome.
And I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. Look, going down on the beach cruise. Look, listen, we actually have a Facebook group called Booze Cruise Enthusiasts. Come and join us. We do bike rides where we
Ride with
drink
us.
and we
Hashtag
go
ride
to
with us.
yeah, buy us around, ride with us, whatever you want to do. We actually do this. A lot of the people, they go down. And I went down not too long ago, and that was the same thing. Like, I'm riding along. I was almost home. We had a whole fucking day of day drinking and booze cruising. And I'm like 2 blocks from the house. And then I'm just riding. And then I'm laying on the fucking asphalt, and I'm looking at the sky. And I'm like, oh, fuck.
I went down.
I'm down.
I'm down.
I fucking went down. Shit. I don't even know how this happened. I'm fucking down right now. God damn it.
It sucks.
Yeah, going down sucks. But here's what I'll say. We are more careful now. We had a long ride today, and even though we did drink all the drinks, let's go through our drinks today. So today you started at the motorhome. We have it late. We had a 13-hour day drink yesterday, which you survived. Amazing. Today you went ahead and had some vodka before we even left the fucking motorhome. God bless you,
No,
sister.
not vodka. Rum.
Rum. I skipped it. I'm like, I'm not doing this.
Well, because I had those noon shakes.
You got the Frank Gallagher shakes.
Yeah, I got the Frank Gallagher noon
So
shakes.
you rode dirty. We rode along, and I said, "Hey, I'm not drinking. I'm not drinking." And we got to shit. Where'd we get to?
Huntington Beach.
I thought I had a drink before then.
No.
No?
Your first drink was at Hurricanes, dude. Ciroc. Did you like
I
it?
had peach Ciroc. And,
Did you
and
like
yeah,
it?
I did. That was good.
It's good.
Thank you, Kanye. Ciroc peach was good with club soda. That was good. The great upstairs overlooking the ocean at Huntington Beach. That was
Yeah.
fantastic. Then we went down to a fantastic bar called the Wet Dog, where Robinson took care of us, brought us in. I ended up buying a $50 hat, a $50 fucking dollar hat today, sir. It says Beer Dog Tavern, and it's wonderful.
Wet dog.
Oh, Wet Dog, Beer Dog. Yeah, I didn't
Wet
even drink
Dog.
beer there. I drank fucking mezcal there.
Oh my God, it's a flat hat. You bought a $50 flat hat.
Yeah, I'll post that. You know, We did get a great photograph that we're going to use for this podcast of me looking happy because I was drinking mezcal out of
Find
the
the
barrel
mezcal.
age, and you looking extremely annoyed with me, which really is the show, right? Just me, just fucking yeah, and you're like fucking lame. I'm like, yeah, give me some Vicodin. Can I spend the night here? You're like, no, you're ruining our vacation, the whole gospel, you piece of shit. What I'm getting at is that even though we drank all this shit, we made it home safely, but we ride carefully now. We know like, hey, you can go down, you can end up in the hospital, so we try to be smart about it.
Yeah.
Do we wear bicycle helmets currently? Sure we do. I mean, if it's like a government program, yes, we do. Kids, ride your bike with your helmet.
Are you
'cause
really?
we don't
bringing,
fucking do
Are
it.
you really bringing that up? I feel like you should edit that out.
So I feel like it's like a thing where I'm going to hit my head and have a
Like we don't even talk about
concussion. And it's like, oh, fucked up.
We
thing.
don't talk about helmets.
We don't talk about helmets. Yeah.
Or Bruno.
I got a flat hat. I can't wear a helmet. I got a $50 fucking flat hat from Wet Dog Tavern.
Yeah, no, I mean I can't wear a helmet.
It's gonna get a helmet hair. Who wants helmet hair?
Who wants helmet hair? I got hat hair.
You're not gonna go into a fucking brewery wearing a goddamn bike helmet like some idiot. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I mean, like someone who doesn't want brain damage.
Right. And I can make some really inappropriate joke about
Don't.
the lengths of buses. I won't do it.
Don't.
But we're not doing that shit.
Don't.
We risk our lives for this program, ladies and gentlemen. We risk our fucking livelihood every day drinking and riding bikes from every bar on the coast of California to bring you this show, Stories and Cocktails. And while we're drinking cocktails, I'm on a low carb kind of thing. So I'm drinking the Michelob Ultra, and you are rocking the tall can Bud Light.
Bud Light.
So these are Bud Lights and Ultras that were purchased on the trail we were riding, and riding dirty. They were drank in public consumption while riding our bicycles, which is an infraction. You can be cited for that. But it turns out nobody cited us today.
How much is it? Like $200?
I think it's less than that, probably.
150?
I think it's $142.76.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Plus some court costs, $27 court costs, plus fees. You're looking at $179.22.
So $200 because parking at the courthouse.
Well, they got to go back to the courthouse. You can pay it online now.
$200.
Yeah. Just sign the fucking ticket. Do not argue with the police. Say, I'm sorry, sir. Yes, I have an open container on my bicycle, and I would like to sign that citation, and I wish you the best, sir. Thank you for your service, and then on your way.
So we went to a surf shop.
Frog's House.
Is it Frog's House or Frog House? Let me look.
It's Frog House.
Because we got the stickers. Frog House.
Frog House, yeah.
Okay, so we went to an authentic, okay, here's the thing. We went to surf shops all goddamn day. We went to the Pirates of the Caribbean on the Grunge Tip surf shops.
Yeah.
Like on Huntington Beach Boulevard by the pier and in Newport by the pier.
3 stories, selling you all
We
the fucking corporate
like
bullshit.
the loud
It's
music
so lame.
and, like we went to
It's all fashion, less surf.
all those surf shops.
Yeah.
And then
We bought some Chotskis.
well, yeah, I mean, we spent a lot of money at the
I am
Pirates of the
currently wearing a
Caribbean
Puka Cell necklace from
Grunge
there.
Tip
Yeah.
surf shops. I mean,
Yeah.
those surf shops, they have something to offer.
And thank you for your service and being
Thank you.
open, because we bought shit.
Appreciate that.
But we recognize the difference between that shit and Frog House.
And
a
then
legit
Frog House.
fucking SoCal surf
So we
shop,
went to Frog House.
where they just make boards and they get high in there.
And it was like a surf shop. Like they didn't have any trinkets. They didn't have any Chotskis. It was just like a surf
Surfers.
shop.
You know how I knew it was a legit surf shop? Because it looked like you were walking funny, like you were wet. Like, because you were like into it. You're like, this is a real surf shop. I can smell the surfers in here. This is a real surf
You noticed
shit.
that?
I did.
I was hoping you didn't notice that. I was trying
definitely
to.
saw it. I'm like, look at you, honey. You're all wet right now. You love surfers.
That guy, his hair, dude. That was glorious fucking hair. That was glorious hair, like on a man, on a woman.
And what did his shirt say? Which was hilarious.
His shirt said like, "Don't mind me. I'm PMSing."
Sorry about my mood, but I'm on my period.
Wait, okay, it wasn't "Don't mind me. I'm PMSing." It wasn't what you said. It was something else. It was like It was longer than that. It was like I'm trying not to be a nasty fucking bitch.
It said, sorry about my
but-
mood. I'm on my period. He's a fucking dude wearing that shirt at a surf shop with
Yeah.
the glorious hair.
Oh, glorious hair.
He did give us 2 free stickers, though.
He should have been in a hair shampoo commercial, dude. That was the most
Yeah.
glorious hair I'd ever seen. And then the shirt,
Props to Frog House
the
and the
shirt
staff
was
there.
funny. Like it was funny what it said, right? But it was also like a ringer tee, like the 3/4 length sleeves.
was.
Where the sleeves are a different color. It was
It's
just
like vote
like,
for Pedro and
it
shit.
was very just there was like the right amount of color, the right amount of style.
It was
that-
legit.
He was a glorious.
He's a sexy man. Made you wet.
Yeah. Well,
You're like, this motherfucker's not going to go to Hoag Hospital from a bruised rib. This guy's a goddamn stud. He's going to just walk it off. Walk that shit off.
Walk it off.
Walk it off.
That's
Tough
what
it out.
okay, listen. I love you. I mean, I am in it with you. Like where you go, that's where I go. I got your back. I am the Axel to your Slash. Like I fucking love you. You.
I
However,
feel like there's a big but coming.
however,
Except
I've
these
watched
things.
a lot of Jason Statham movies. I mean,
Yes.
you
He'll
know,
kill a man with his shirt.
you know how I feel about Jason Statham. He can kill a man with a shirt, dude, with an axe.
But does he have a full head of hair like your husband?
And
No, he does not.
when Jason Statham falls on his bike and they take him to the hospital, he gets to the hospital and then he rips his IV out. He rips his IV
I'm like,
out.
that's a big mistake, Jason. The fucking Vicodin is in the IV. Don't rip that
And
out.
he's-
You're gonna
and
need
he's-
that, sir.
He's like, I gotta go. Like, I wish I could do like a Jason Statham accent right now just for the podcast. So I could be like, I gotta go from the
Hey.
hospital.
You gotta go, bloke.
Bloody hell. I gotta get out of here.
Yeah, you nailed it.
I
Fucking
nailed it.
I thought Jason Statham
nailed-
was right here in the RV with me because you fucking hit it so good.
Exactly. So, anyways, he's like, bloody hell, I gotta get out of here.
I
So
fucking made it, didn't I?
exactly. I fucking love that line. Best line in a movie
It's a great looking suit. I fucking made it,
ever.
didn't
Where'd you get that suit? I fucking made it, didn't I? Anyways, so here's the thing: is I mean, I knew I wasn't married to Jason Statham.
I? Yeah,
I knew that.
because I
Right?
have a full head of hair and I'm not from England.
And I mean, and I also know, like, that I wasn't married to an English actor who plays role. Like, I mean, I got it. I
Yeah.
got it.
Got
You
it.
know.
Yeah.
So there's things that you know, but then it's like they're never ever actually like proven to you. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, are you married to the toughest fucking guy? No. I mean, I know I'm not, right? But then, then all of a sudden you find yourself, you're on your fucking vacation. You got a babysitter for the goddamn kids. Every minute costs like $100 because you're on Airbnb money, dude, and your husband's in the hospital. And you know he's a nutsack. But then like you go to the hospital and you're waiting. You're just like, dude, just come on, just rip the IV out. Just get
Pull that IV out. Get the fuck out like a stud.
yeah.
Walk out here with your ass in the fucking air and
Yeah.
just ride a motorcycle home.
Exactly.
'Cause you're a
I
stud.
was gonna say a Jeep. I was gonna say get in the back of my Jeep. Like we don't have a motorcycle, we don't have a Jeep. But like if you had pulled the IV out, I just feel like a cooler car or a cooler vehicle, maybe a motorcycle.
It would just have
Whatever.
appeared magically.
It would have just magically like transpired
Makes sense.
in the parking lot, and we would have had that vehicle to get you home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Sounds reasonable.
you would pull that IV out, and then all of a sudden, like where I parked the Hyundai, there would be a motorcycle, and you would be like, "Bitch, get on the back," because also you would drive it, because you know you're more manly. So, anyways, so you know who your husband is, but like then all of a sudden it's like really tested. It's and you're just like, oh shit, you really are. You're really not
so lame.
you're not
so
gonna pull the
weak
IV
as shit.
out. The doctors are like, look, we want to really like. The doctors are like, look, we get it, sweetheart. You're on a vacation. I mean, and the fact that they're calling me sweetheart, that's like a whole other podcast, a whole other issue. But there's like, you're on vacation. We understand. We get it. He's asking us if he could just stay one more night.
But he is heavily insured, so we're gonna let him stay.
Yeah, and they're like,
More Jello, sir.
pain hurts him more than it hurts other people.
I am more affected by pain than others.
I'm like, is that your medical diagnosis? And they're just like,
No, the medical diagnosis is wuss.
he's a nutsack.
He's a total wuss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I had to come back to the beach house, and I had to be like, okay, I gotta get babysitters for another day so I can go check on Dad again tomorrow. Then we brought you home though,
Yes.
and you had a nice script, and I don't know what it was for, because this
I had Vicodin and Corona script.
was it Vicodin?
I was Vicodin and Corona Extra. Which is the perfect combination.
Well,
of
'cause
getting
I was like,
fucking
here.
high as shit.
You gotta get off the fucking Vicodin. We need you present. You gotta be a part of this vacation.
Yeah, dude, I was home for like 7 minutes. Like, you gotta stop taking these meds. I'm like, I just got home. They prescribed me these fucking meds. Like, I'm in a lot of pain. Like, let me take these meds. You're like, no, I gotta wean you off these motherfuckers because you're ruining our vacation. I was like, I don't really feel like I'm getting the support I deserve. So in as much you were like man, I really realized like what a nutsack you were. I at the same time realized like, man, my wife's really unsupportive. We got to stay healthy because this scenario with the two of us, these roles we're playing, it doesn't work for us at all. No fucking chance.
Okay, it would work now. Like we had 2 little kids. Like now, I mean, if you fell off your bike today, you know, I mean, knock on wood, you didn't. Thank God.
That's for Micah.
We're smarter. We know how to ride. But if you'd fallen off your bike today and they took you to the hospital, like I don't have 2 little kids that I'm trying to like entertain. I would just call the hospital and be like, look, about 7 days from now, that nutsack's going to be ready to be released. Here's my phone number. Give me a call. I'll see you in 7 days.
Fuck him. He's got a credit card. Tell him to take an Uber home. I'll be at the firehouse.
Oh, no, I'll be at Frog House. With that guy.
Never mind my mood. I'm on my period.
Yeah, I know. I'll be like...
That is
I'd be like,
that is good.
Same.
I'm like,
same.
I'm in the hospital. I'm like, you guys get me out of here. A surfer fucked my wife.
He's on his period, and he still fucked my wife.
I don't know how, but this guy's menstruating and still fucking my wife while I'm in this hospital right now.
My wife's been
I
on
need
her.
to get the fuck out of
My wife's
here.
been on her period for like the last 12 years, and yet she's still fucking that guy.
Somehow
who's on
she
his
fucked
period.
this dude. Yeah, that's pretty much how it went. So listen, everybody, wear your helmet, ride safe.
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And that was Last Call. You did it. You survived an episode of Stories and Cocktails. But did Rob or Sarah's liver survive the show? I don't know. Tune into the next episode to find out, to enjoy some more stories and some more cocktails. By the way, if you want to support the debauchery of the show, then buy the host their next round by Venmoing a couple of gold doubloons at Stories and Cocktails. Back in the day, a gold doubloon was only 4 Spanish dollars. Who knew? Well, folks, I'll be right here behind the bar, cleaning the glassware and awaiting your return to the Stories and Cocktails podcast. Cheerio, friends.